So I bought this house in 2019, and that was 2 years ago. Today, I'm thinking about selling it. Now, if you want to know why or even how, then don't go anywhere because today we're talking about it. What is up? Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time seeing my face, my name is Javon, and on this platform, I talk about a lot from real estate to investing into college life to managing finances to money management, credit scores, and so much more. So after you are done watching this video, make sure you go to my main page and check out the other videos that I have as well. I try to educate as much as I can about everything that I learn, and I'm sure that you're gonna find something you may like if you check it out. Now, today on this video, I specifically want to talk about how this housing market, as crazy as it has been, is influencing me to think about selling my home, and I actually think I might do it. So I wanna guide you guys through my mindset. Now, if this comes across as me rambling, I apologize in advance. I didn't create a script for this video. I just wanted it to be like a natural conversation between you and me. So here it goes. So like I said in the beginning of this video, I bought the house that I'm currently living in back in 2019 when I was 23 years old. And it's been 2 years since then, since I've bought it. And I'm currently considering selling it and selling it pretty soon. My eyes are set on, I wanna say sometime maybe January, February, March, somewhere within there, right? Somewhere within there. And I want to sell it mainly for a couple of good reasons. The first reason I want to sell it is because the housing market has took off, and I think that the value of my house has rose, especially when I look at the comps to some of the other houses in the neighborhood, and I'll show you guys some of those comps later on in the video, so don't go anywhere. And the second reason I want to sell this house is because I originally bought it as a type of future investment purchase. However, recently I've decided to become a long distance investor in a different city when it comes to real estate. If you haven't saw, or if you don't know what I'm talking about, I created a whole playlist. I'll leave a link up above and down in the descriptions below to show you how I invested in a city that's like more than 200 miles away from me because I believe it's going to be a good market. I bought a real estate property there, and I plan to keep on buying more real estate property there. So since I don't plan on staying in this particular area that I'm in for a very long time like I thought I would a while ago, the numbers is starting to push me towards selling instead of keeping it as an investment. But we'll unpackage all of this, so don't go anywhere. All right, so let's talk about the housing market for just a quick second. Unless you've been living under a rock, then you should know that the housing market, whether you're buying, selling, renting, doesn't really matter. The housing market has took off in this last year or two, and this is due to a couple of good reasons. If you want a full video of me breaking down the exact reasons why the housing market is what it is today, leave a link down below and comment, Javon, tell me more, and I'll make sure to do a separate video for you just diving into those details. But to give like a quick overcap, a couple of reasons that the housing market has took off is, one, at the beginning of this pandemic, in order to prevent people from not spending money, because usually in times of hardship, people get scared and they keep all the money to themselves. They don't spend, which is kind of bad for the economy. So in order to kind of prevent that, the Fed slashed interest rates by a lot. And what a slashing interest rates does? Well, it encourages people to go out and spend money. So let's say you wanted to buy a $200,000 house, but interest rates was around 4.5%, 5%, whatever. So that might have meant that every single month on that $200,000 house, you would have been paying, depending on your credit score and a whole bunch of other factors, maybe $2,000 a month, and it was just a little bit out of your reach. Well, with the Fed slashing the interest rates, let's say I've seen people get like 2.8% for the interest rates or something like that. It's been crazy. This means that you are now able to afford a bigger home and get it in like a lower monthly package. So that same home that was $200,000 that was going to cost you like $3,000 a month to get, it now only costs you like $1,500 a month with the new interest rates. And that's basically been the story. So with interest rates being slashed, that has inspired more people to go out and buy more things because they can afford more and they want to. Now, another reason that housing the housing market has taken off is because there aren't enough homes. As more people go out and buy and buy and buy, one of the other things that we've seen in this pandemic is that sellers didn't necessarily want strangers coming into their house, touching all their things, coughing on all of their items, because we were in a panorama. So the housing market, not only were there sellers not selling their homes, but also there were builders not having permits or whatever to build homes in a timely fashion. So if more people are buying and the inventory is getting shorter and shorter, that's going to push up the remaining items in the list to a higher degree. So we got a huge supply hit and we have a huge demand hit, a low supply hit, and that combined together shoots off of the housing prices. So these past couple of years have been really good for real estate value because it keeps on rising and rising and rising. And with that, my house has rose in value as well. So like I said, I bought this house back in 2019. When I bought it, I paid a total of $178,750 for the home, somewhere around that number. So that's how much I paid overall to get into this house. It's about 1,000 plus square feet, 1 story. It's a really quaint house in an okay neighborhood. Nothing crazy, but I really liked it. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. So I bought this house in 2019, like I said, for that amount of money. Down the street a couple of days ago, like literally not even that long ago from me shooting this video, a house with basically the same specs, right? Same bed, same bath, single story, single car garage, small backyard, same specs, same neighborhood, same everything. Cause I can walk to it. It's 2 minutes that way from me, right? That house sold for $250,000. They didn't even have hardwood floors. A lot of the homes that have been selling in this neighborhood, I noticed that they're taking out the carpet in the main area and they're putting hardwood floors to make the value go up a little bit more. They didn't even have hardwood floors. They had carpet. I got carpet. So what is that telling me? That tells me my spidey senses is tingling. Maybe I can get $250,000. Now, since I'm naturally, I wouldn't say a pessimist, but a realistic person, I'm going to say, all right, let's not aim for 250 because it could have been just a special one-off type of thing. But there have been plenty of houses in my neighborhood selling for more and more and more that have kind of similar specs to my house currently. So I think I can at least get maybe $230,000 for this house, which if I do the math right, if I sold it for $230 and I bought it for $178, let's just say $180, that's a $50,000 difference. Now, you have to pay the seller's fees and the commission fees and all that stick crap, but it's still a nice return on what I originally spent to get into this house, which was about $15,000. I can't remember because it's been a couple years now, but wasn't that much? That would be a nice return for me. Now, even though that would be a nice return, I know some people are probably thinking, okay, but if you have this house and you originally wanted it to be an investment, why not keep it and rent it out? Well, here are the numbers, and you can tell me if I'm tripping. If I'm tripping, check me below in the comments and let me know. But here's what I'm thinking. So to pay the mortgage, to pay the interest, the taxes, the insurance, all that crap combined together every single month, that is costing me currently about $1,000. Now, that is not bad. I've checked out the rental rates in my area, and rental rates currently for a house of my type of specs within this type of neighborhood, it can go for about, I want to say $1,400 a month, maybe $1,500 if I update a couple of things or even get like a nicer person in here. But I would say $1,400 a month isn't too bad for this current area, for this type of house. Now, I pay $1,000 every single month just to stay here. If I move out and I get somebody to rent this place, that is going to increase the cost of what I pay in property taxes every single year. So property taxes right now, I pay about like $1,000. If I left out and used this as a pure rental, my property taxes is going to skyrocket up to $3,000 every single year. That's a $2,000 increase. When we break that down between 12 months, I can't do math like that. I gotta get the calculator, right? Gotta get the calculator, unless you're smart, I don't know. So $2,000 divided by 12, it's an extra $166. So that puts me at $1,166 for the cost to rent this place out. But that's not everything, Because if I rent it out for $1,450, right? Or even $1,400, let's keep it at $1,400. If I rent it out $1,400 every single month, that means I'm gonna have to find a property manager to manage things, because clearly if I don't stay in this area, I don't wanna manage it myself. That will make me be inactive. This will make this investment go from passive to active. I prefer my investments to stay passive as can be. So I get a property manager for that. Now, clearly with property managers, you pay a certain fee for them to take care of your things. It's 10% usually. So 10% of what? 10% of the rent. So 10% of $1,400 is $140. So now we got $1,000 plus $166 plus $140. That's bringing me up to $1,306 every single month. Now, with all that being said, it's like, oh, Javon, you're still making a little bit of money, like $94 of cash flow. But here's the thing. That $94 that I'm making, that's not cash flow. What if I get a renter in here and something goes wrong with the fridge or the roof or the HVAC system? This house is relatively new, 2017, so I don't expect anything big to go wrong. However, when you're collecting rents on your rental properties, you do have to put away some of that money, a good bit of that money, honestly, for repairs and future renovations. $94 is not enough of a spread to put away money for future repairs and also to have some cash flow coming into myself. Now that doesn't mean I would be losing completely, because cash flow is not the only thing that you buy rental properties for. Appreciation is also another thing that could go and be a huge favor to you. So this house could raise up in value even more than what it already is. So let's say 2 to 3 years from now, I live in the Charleston area. The Charleston area is expanding. A lot more people are coming to live here because it's a great place to be. But when more people come to a town, that rises up the rates even more. So this house could potentially one day be worth $300,000. Do I want to sell it before it gets to that point, or do I want to keep it without making any type of cash flow on it and just hold it to myself and see where the cards fly? With me, personally, I'm leaning towards getting rid of it, taking the money that I make from those proceeds and investing more into the state that I picked out where my other rental property is. Because I want to buy 2 more next year, and I think if I sell it for the right number, if I sell this house for the right number, I could definitely get 2 more houses. I think that might be the smarter route to go. If you think I should rent out my house, keep it as an investment property, or if you think I should go ahead and sell it, take those proceeds and reinvest it into more real estate that I can afford in a different area, whichever one, let me know in the comments down below. I'm really curious to see what you guys think. Now, if you're wondering, okay, if the market was taking off, why didn't you sell it when it was peaking out in the summertime or something like that? The reason for me personally waiting to even contemplate selling my house is that, here's the thing. Okay, so if you live in a home for a certain amount of time, usually the minimum is 2 years, then you're going to avoid paying taxes off the proceeds that you make off the house up to a certain amount. That certain amount depends on place to place, state to state, doesn't really matter. But for me, I would fall within that certain amount. So let's say this house sold for $250,000. I bought it for $180,000. The difference between those two is $60,000. If I had lived in this house for 2 years, if I had lived in this house for lesser than 2 years, then I would be paying taxes on that $60,000. I don't know about you, but I like to keep the money that I make. I just would. I feel like y'all hate paying taxes. I hate paying taxes. So with that in mind, I knew that if I stayed in this house just a little bit longer, I could avoid paying some taxes on it and keep more of that money inside of my pocket to reinvest in myself. So now is the time to do it, because I officially hit that 2-year mark a little while ago. So now I can actually entertain thoughts about selling. And looking at the housing market right now, even though things usually slow down in the winter times, this is a crazy market and nothing is slowing down like it usually has in the past. So I still think this is a good time to get in there and get this house listed before long. Now, if you're wondering, okay, why not do it now? Why are you waiting until January and February? Well, 1, I have a roommate living here and I gotta get him out first before I even think about selling. And 2, I really am lazy, so I don't want the proceeds off of this house to be reported in this year's taxes, because I already did some things this year that I would rather wait for it to be reported on the next year's tax. So I'm thinking about the long game. I'm thinking about the long game. All in all, I'm trying to wrap everything together in a nice little bow to make my life a little bit easier. All right, that is basically the plan. This housing market has encouraged me or inspired me to be one of the reasons that I think about selling this house. What do you think? If you gain any knowledge or any type of helpfulness from this video, let me know down in the comments below. I love hearing what you guys have to say. Make sure you leave this video a like as well to support this channel and help grow it as much as it possibly could. I'm trying to reach out and show everyone what it's like to be just a small investor, but do amazing things. Now, with all that being said, that's pretty much all that I have for you guys today. If you're curious on what it's going to be like for me to sell the house, make sure you comment down below so I can make future videos as well. You gotta comment, because otherwise, how would I know that you like it? And if I don't know that you like it, how can I make a video on it? So please comment, please like, please subscribe. And with all that being said, I'm gonna leave you with a peace, love,